My fellow Sagittarians, thank you for watching. 3-card tarot now for the sign of Sagittarius. Tarot now means something in the Welsh language, but that's not what I'm on about here. Tarot, the old ancient practice of tarot divination. So 3 cards, please, for the sign of Sagittarius in the first week of June 2019. Please, that's 3 cards, please, for the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, and one more time for the sign of Sagittarius for the first week of June 2019. Here we go. Okay, so the significator, which is the 2 of Wands, I shall be on in a second. Okay, right, 2 of Wands is the significator then, so let's have a look at that one first, because it fell out first. Let's put these somewhere they can't do any more harm. They keep falling off everything and going all over the floor. And I don't like them on the floor if I can possibly help it, but there we go. 2 of Wands, right. Oh, do come here. Right, 2 of Wands. Fire signs basically are indicated when this one comes up, so it's kind of going to be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that kind of energy. Perhaps most particularly Aries energy in the case of this reading as we go. Because what we've got to do here, guys, is trust intuition. A lot of people mistake intuition for being the first thing that comes into your head. That is quite a journey if you're learning to read cards yourself, or if you're a medium. Not if you're learning very well. We're learning every day anyway, but you could be quite well established and this could still be an issue, you know, because we can actually trust our intuition. The first thing that comes into our head is a different matter altogether, and a lot of this journey is kind of differentiating between the first thing that comes into our heads and intuition. And friends, it gets easier as you go along, you know, it really does. I can't explain it any deeper than that. It's just a fact of life thing. But go, excuse me, go with the flow if you're learning to do this. And stay with the flow if you're in it. It'll keep you going. It really will. Okay, so here's Alice looking off into the distance. And the ones here, they really symbolise our drive, our will to want to get things done. In so many ways, like sticks taken out of the earth and fashioned into something we can do something with. But look, we're also in a bit of a windstorm here, and there's some ribbons on there so we can see the wind. So she's getting an idea what's coming in, and it's not a stupid idea. It's not an imaginary idea. She can see the way the wind is blowing. Okay, so that's the significator. Let's get to card number 1. And he is the 7 of Swords. Very naughty character on the face of it, because he's running off with the swords here. He's had a good old stealing session, thieved some swords, and he's running off. But the crazy thing is, he isn't actually doing anything to try and cover his tracks or anything. We're looking at sort of kind of Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio kind of energy here, guys, as well. And very, very fluid energy. This can mean different strokes for different folks. It's the way it goes. It really is, honestly. The most important interpretation in any of the readings I do here is the one you put on it yourself. Okay, because we're all so different and we're all on that karmic journey. But somewhere along the karmic journey, sometimes people try to help us in the most unusual ways. And I'm not sure if this guy is stealing something because he's a thief, or he's kind of pinching something. He's like hiding something to tease somebody or to try and prove a point or something like that. So, you know, if you feel that there's something kind of dodgy about someone, I'm not saying give them entirely the benefit of the doubt, but do be aware that sometimes people do crazy things for good reasons which aren't known to us at the time. He sounds a bit of a loose cannon, doesn't he, really? But, you know, that's the way he is. He's the 7 of Swords, and he's not a water sign, he's an air sign, so it's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, that kind of energy, rather than Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio. I'm so sorry. Oh dear me, I just can't remember a blinking thing these days. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Let's get on to the next card in this spread of 3, and I've got to move the table as well. Right, drink the water, Andy. Here we go. So we're on the 9 of Cups now, and it's the very magical caterpillar character from Tarot in Wonderland here. He also appears as, I think he's the magician card in this deck as well. But in this case, make a wish. They used to call this the wish card in the old kind of gypsy Romany fortune telling traditions. And it's a card where you can make a wish and you can sort of become assured of if not getting your exact wish, getting some kind of nice surprise that throws things into the right direction. The best way to attract that is to be kind of grateful for what you've got already, and be thankful, I suppose, is the best way of putting it. And then, you know, make that wish because you can. This is the middle of the three cards in this, so in a sense it's the heart of the matter. We're into the idea of trusting intuition, as from our significator here as well, okay? Trust your intuition, because intuition isn't just the first thing that comes into your head. It's an educated, not exactly a guess even, it's an educated thing. The human mind is taking in information absolutely all the time. It doesn't stop doing it. Okay, so that is the Nine of Cups there in the center position. And what have we got for card number 3? Number 14, and it's the Temperance card. So we're looking pretty much at Sagittarian energy here in terms of any new people coming in, and generally, you know, a Sagittarius way of doing things. And since this is a Sagittarius reading, I think that's a very good card for an outcome card at the end of this 3-card tarot spread for the sign of Sagittarius in the first week of June 2019. Practice maturity in all things. It's not just be mature, it's kind of practice it. Really put it into practice rather than just kind of wisely sitting back and, you know, because you know better. Actually try and get out and do something, put something into practice towards making things happen, okay? Because when you do that, you're going to find yourself seeing things more widely, and a broader perspective is really going to give you the key to getting the forward motion that you crave, Sagittarius. Definite feeling of kind of 1 step forward, 2 steps back there, but trust that intuition, because things could be a lot better than you or I think they could be. You just never know. If it feels good, maybe it is. There's an album I like, Rita Marley, and on it there's a song called Who Feels It Knows It. No, that's the name of the album, Who Feels It Knows It. And that is, you know, she's talking in spiritual terms, you know, and it's true, it really is, you know. If you kind of allow yourself to feel these things, you will begin to know where you're going, understand more about where these things are at, because it's your journey. Might as well, you know, get that broader perspective. So, Saggies, remember that Temperance card, it's number 14, and, you know, be as mature as you can. But there's a difference between kind of reserved wisdom sitting back and actually getting things done. And if you try and get things done, you'll get a broader perspective, okay? But there is help around, I'm sure, because I'm now shuffling and asking for some more significance. Tell me some more, please, about the 7 of Swords. That came up as the first card in this 3-card spread for Sagittarius in the first week of June 2019. And here we have it. Okay, and it is Mr. Caterpillar again, and he's the Magician. There he is. I thought he was probably the Magician. There we go. I've just about remembered it right. So there you go. First thing I'm going to say there is it's a bit more trust your intuition energy, actually, because that was my intuition, and he's come up right now. Then you are a unique person. You have free will, but with all kinds of free will goes all kinds of responsibility as well. So, you know yourself and trust in the elemental energies of life as well, the elementals that run this planet. You could say the fairies. I've just said it, so I'll say it again, the fairies. But, you know, nature sprites, tree sprites, elementals. The earth was put here long before human beings dwelled on it. It's absolutely loaded up with everything we need, so we can actually draw on that, and that is where we get things like flow of abundance from. Even though that would be physically limited, I think any kind of physical wealth abundance would be limited. The actual magic to make that thing happen is unlimited. The only limits on it is how far we're prepared to go with it, you know. So in a sense, this is don't hold back, but guys, it's fluid energy. It applies itself to different people in different ways. And so the Magician goes along with the 7 of Swords here. And again, you know, the question here is this guy up to no good, or is he trying to prove a point, or sort of try and, I don't know, raise awareness of something, you know, show them their security's no good for genuine reasons. You never know. He doesn't look like a bad guy to me. It's hard to tell because the clouds sort of slant a bit, and then they curve round. That seems to be how that goes. But the Magician is here telling us that, you know, there is some magic going on there, because there is some magic going on everywhere. Okay, keep it moving. I'd love to spend more time on this, guys. My internet connection is very slow though, and to get what's going to be something like about 140 minutes with all 12 of these uploaded within the space of 1 week, I just have to go pretty quick because they take hours and hours to upload. Never mind, that is not your problem. I'm just letting you know that's why these things are shorter than I would like them to be. And as I'm shuffling, I'm asking to tell us some more, please, about the Nine of Cups in this reading for Sagittarius in the first week of June 2019. And here we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, the Ace of Wands is here. This is just a great card to have. We're with fire sign here. This is kind of Aries, Leo, Sagittarian energy, that kind of thing. Look at that, absolutely beautiful bright light shining there. I feel there's a strong idea coming in, Sagittarius. That's what I feel. Traditional meaning of this card is something along those lines, but you know, it's also showing us that prolonged effort is likely to be worth it. As an example, I'm no paragon of virtue on this. I've given this up cursing so many times because of problems I've had. But I've been YouTubing for 12 years just because I enjoy it for fun anyway. I never really thought I'd get more than a few hundred views in a year because that's how it was for about 12 years. In the last 2 or 3 months, suddenly I'm putting on like 1,000 views a month, and I can actually, if I keep doing this another couple of years, I think I might actually really kind of get somewhere with it. Because my dream would be to put some advertising maybe on this somehow, so that the readings are paid for, and I'm getting kind of paid then for the readings, I hope, without you guys actually having to fork out. Because I've got a pet thing about that. I couldn't have learned to be a medium at the time that Spirit came into my life if I'd had to pay. I was very lucky. There was an excellent teacher, a real top expert, who he was quite happy to teach people for nothing, free of charge, because someone had taught him free of charge. I couldn't have been a medium without that. I had small children and not enough money. So any money that came in had to go on the children, not the reading. I mean, if you want to know what God's plan is, and God gave you children, and you're lucky as I was, then, you know, that's the plan. That's God's plan, the children. Focus on the kids. Anyway, I'm not saying there's children involved in this in any way, but I am saying you get nothing without a bit of prolonged effort, and it's worth doing it even when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, because things can change, and they do change, and they will change. So I'm asking for one more card, please, in this reading for Sagittarius for the first week of June 2019, to tell me more, please, about the card of Temperance, which is number 14 that came up as the last card in this spread. Okay, so what have we here? We have the Ace of Cups. Now, there is a nice thing, okay? It's a water sign. The cups have a lot to do with our kind of heart's desire, the longings we feel, that kind of thing. Pisces energy, Cancer energy, maybe even Scorpio energy around this card, Sag. Remember, divine grace is a real thing, okay? And this is coming right back to the Significator card, Two of Wands here. Trust your intuition. Know that divine grace is a real thing, and that actually goes with the Magician and, you know, the Nine of Cups. It actually goes with all of them. It just totally works for me, that. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to have to leave it there and get cracking with an upload. Hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and tap the bell so you don't miss anything. I'll be back really soon with more. Peace.